Hello, hello. Unfortunately, this is the second time I had to record this because I screwed up earlier. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you have PlayStation, PSN, or on the Switch, Uzuki is now available. But if you're waiting for her to come out on Steam, she will be available in a few hours. If you're watching this as of I'm posting this video. Otherwise, if it's past the July 24th, she's already out. Have fun. And as you can hear, she's a very excitable character. And I'll slowly go through the colors in case people don't want to go through the other avenues of searching for her colors. But here you go, how they look in game. They're very clean. A lot of these colors are nice. The character design is super interesting as well. Because when I talked with Kimone at Evo during the Arc System Works panel, he did give us a description of like what the character designer came up with, and then him as the battle planner having to figure out how to get her to play in such a way that she would be fun, even though she could be a little bit challenging for some people in the beginning. Because I know a lot of people look at her and be like, "Oh man, isn't she kind of odd?" And it's like a little bit, but you'll get the hang of it at the beginning. After a little bit. So Kakai, gonna do Uzuki's theme and her stage. And this is why I have to re-record everything, because I didn't have audio for her for the game. I just had me yapping. And I know not everybody wants to hear me yapping. Anyway, so as you can see already, she floats. She floats as her neutral. I'm not holding anything, she just floats as neutral. When she crouches, she does that. When she walks back, she does that. Walk speed's pretty decent. Dash speed, pretty good as well. Assault, jumps. Her jump is a little floaty. She feels floaty. She can't move forward or back like two other characters in the game, but she feels slightly floaty. It's not too much of a thing to throw you off. Dash speed's good. Assault's good too. Backdash is nice. Now her normals. 5A. 5A actually doesn't go that far. Oops. Yeah, 5A does not go that far. Like other characters' 5As, but some characters just have cheating 5As. They're pretty big. 5B, 5B, not that big in comparison to a B normal. However, it does hit twice, so it allows you to confirm a hit and go into the rest of your combo. Speaking of, this is 5C. 5C round start hits most characters. I feel like it hits everybody round start. Look at her arms, just flailing. But yeah. Goes really far, and you can use it to confirm to other things, which we'll get to later. Right now, 2A. 2A is a little bit bigger than most characters' 2As, honestly. Or it's on par for most characters' good 2As that go really far. 2B. 2B goes really far. Almost as far as 5C at round start, but doesn't make it that far. But as you can see, look at that poke. It's pretty good. This can be blocked standing though, so you have to be careful. So if you're like, oh, they're walking back on me, what do? You press the next button, 2C. It moves her quite far forward, and it gives knockdown. So it's something you can do, like, to just keep them on their toes. Like, hey, if you walk back, you have to be careful. Next, we have her jump moves. Jump A, B, jump C. Jump A, it's like standard small jump A's. It's like her 2A. Same size. It can whip, so you have to be a little bit careful. But if you have re-jump combos, you have to use it for that. Then you have a jump B. It can actually hit behind her. It has a hitbox behind her. So if you're like, ooh, I'm gonna cross you up and be cool, you can do that. Now her jump C. Jump C, it's twice. And then for command normals, she has 3C. The 3C probably being one of the probably the biggest in the game, I want to say, just based off how this looks. So it's like if people are jumping at you, you'll just anti-air them with it, and you're like, haha, GG. The other command normal is 4C. If you tap the 4C, it goes practically a cap screen, pretty big, you can special cancel it. But if you charge it, it's an overhead. So same thing, overhead, and you can go in with the special move to cancel it. Because you're not allowed to rebeat back into A normals or B normals. Then you have your 6C. Drill. You can't rebeat out of it, so you can't go from C to B You can't go from this to A or B as you see me pressing. However, you can go into it with a plethora of other normals, so. But it looks like it's probably used for keeping pressure to push with your special moves, as you can see. And then you have her jump 2C, air drill. However, you have to be careful how you do this, because if you jump up and do it, it'll keep your momentum. So you can kind of do that and keep pressure. Then you have her. I'll go over her force function later, because one of her special moves has a lot going on. Speaking of one of her special moves, essentially shark, a bone dolphin. It's not a dolphin, I just like to call it bone dolphin. 236A. Really fast, actually relatively safe. I think the only person in the cast who can punish this would be Waldenstein, and even then, I think he has to get a little bit closer to do his A buster, his A command grab. The B version of this, if you space it correctly, it actually hits overhead. But the first part is a mid, so you can down back the first part. However, if it's spaced correctly, ooh, 2-5. Ooh, my spacing's still good. Oh, my spacing's real good, damn. He's so nice. There you go, overhead. So you can catch people who are trying to like constantly little shield your pressure, and they're like, oh, I'm nice, but then you just do the overhead bone and they get knocked down. And then the C version, 236C. Essentially your horizontal-ish reversal, because you can't block it in the air. You can't block any of these in the air, actually. Bonk. Bonk. Most special moves in this game are air unblockable. That's another thing to keep in mind. Then you have a down-down series, 2-2A, 2-2B, 2-2C. Essentially they're used as like spacing tools. Like if you think someone's gonna walk in that space, you do this and you get a combo on them because it pops them up, as we'll see here. So you'll do something like T2, 3C, bum bum bum. You know, small combo. I haven't messed with her yet, but that's what the combo trials are for. Then you have 1-4, the coffin. This is probably like the most involved move that this character has, because not only does she get to like haul coffins here, she can actually ride on top of the coffin with back and D. So if you press back and D after summoning, you get to sit on the coffin. And you can hop off the coffin anytime you want by holding up forward, up back. Now, you could also choose not to hop on the coffin, but you will still get to summon the special moves out of it. So if you do 2-4A and you tap the A button, you'll get that low swipe. It does hit low, so you see how high it has to block low? He has to block low. But you have to hold back when you do it. So you do 2-4A, hold back, press the A button. 2-4A, hold back, press the B button. That's that big swipe. It's not overhead, but it could be used like a combo tool. And then you have 2-4A, 4C, which is those swordfish, those bone swordfish, which is really plus. But you have to space in a way to like have them hit, so that way you see plus 41. Oops. If you space it correctly, you get to go in. Plus 1-8. Now, 1-4B, the coffin will pull the opposing character towards you, and you can still do the same thing. So you can do 2-4B, 4A. So now that it's standing, this swipe is not a low anymore, but it's still pretty big. And then you got the B version, 2-4B, 4B. You have bone bats. Let them go. Then 2-4B, 4C. You got that swipe, which is now more plus. So when the coffin is standing up, the C version of this swipe is more plus, whereas the A version of this swipe is not that plus, but it's used for like combos. Now 2-4C, the coffin doesn't pull them as far forward. However, it just gives you slightly better positioning for the coffin, so you don't have to worry about them, getting between you and the coffin. Because here, they might be able to get around this spacing, depending on where they are, from like here. Even though that vertical hitbox seems huge, but the C version actually will track where they are for the most part. outside of being full screen, obviously. There is a distance where it won't pick up, but if you think about it, this goes pretty far. Now, she can mount these, like I said earlier, by pressing the D button. So you do 24A, and you tap back in D. So instead of tapping back in like A, B, or C, you'll tap back in D if you want to sit on the coffin. And then instead of pressing back again, you can just sit on this as long as you want. It can hit you, but you still get these cool moves. Oh, I forgot one important move. The grab. Spooky arms. So if you want to do a normal throw, you can do that. However, when you get on the coffin, it's a command grab. So now they're not allowed to break it. But you could use this coffin as a way to mount. She just sits up there being a goon. Look at her. It's like, go, do my bidding. And she can hop off. You could also charge the B version and C version to hit as an overhead. You don't get to call anything out of the coffin, but you just do an overhead. Trust me, it is overhead. See? Overhead. Overhead. So you can mount the coffin, and depending on how close the coffin is to you, she will fly over to where it is, and it'll swap sides. So as you can see here, coffin, oops, coffin, out, woo, swap sides. See, it even turns around. Now, for air special moves. Poison Hat. This Poison Hat, it's 236A in the air. If it hits, it has to hit. They can't be blocked. If it hits, it gives you the poison debuff. And with this poison debuff, the next time you do a poison move, it gives you a little bit more hit stun, as you can see. So, without the hit stun on the poison buff hit stun. You see how there's like a small extra amount of time that they're in the air? That's what that does. So the A version goes this distance, the B version goes this distance, and the C version goes this distance. So it'll essentially give you a way to give you a combo tool to apply poison, or get more hits done depending on if you use the other poison move that I'll get to later. Now, for her other air moves, she has Coffin, 2 and 4. So she can do 2 and 4 in the air as well, so she can be on the coffin immediately. However, this is not an overhead, as you can see there. However, when she gets on the coffin, she can sit on this as long as she wants. Same thing with the B version, hops on. So if you're like, I don't want to do all that stuff on the ground with 2 and 4, press back, press D, you just hop on and stay on as long as you want. Same thing with the C version. The C version actually moves her back a little bit, so you can try to bait someone doing a reversal in this situation, which is pretty good. Then you have a force function. So her just B plus C is this. She goes on the ground. She flops around. However, she can't be here indefinitely. She has to move like back and forth. I believe if she sits still, I think she has to get up. Yeah, she has to get out if she sits still. Otherwise, you have to be moving back and forth in order to stay underground indefinitely. You do lose a lot of grid for it, but you're kind of evasive. Get up. There you go. You can be hit from out on the ground, so you can do this. You do 2A. However, she can go under some projectiles that are horizontal. But as you can see, because if she doesn't move, she gets up after an indefinite amount of time, she can be still close. Now, her other force function. Down in B plus C. So, she's like Faust where she has items, however, she only has 3 of them, and they always come out as a set amount, as a set order, apologies. So, Poison, Bomb, Puppet. Well, not Puppet. Think of it like mini Faust Warrior. Yeah, I guess mini Puppet. So Poison will apply the poison debuff without hitting them. So you know how you had to hit them with this? But this poison, since it's just a miss, it just gives them the poison debuff, which is very strong. However, because it takes too long for you to like wind up and throw it, you can be hit out of it. So if I'm fast enough, there you go. So you can see this as a, oh, you have to be cautious about how you throw that out. But if you manage to get a good knockdown with one of her special moves, you just toss this out here, and there you go. You have poison. Also, to note, you can use any of her normals or special moves to hit the poison. There you go. Now, for the second item she tosses, bomb. You can hit the bomb. The other player cannot hit the bomb. So if you don't believe me, that's crazy. And to make things better for Uzuki, if you can time it correctly, if I turn off my throw break, the bomb will actually go off during the throw animation to give you more damage. Because that's her normal throw damage. However, if you do, if you don't mess up like me, adds almost another like 600-700 damage to her throw, which is kind of nuts. It's really strong. And because they can't hit it, they have to worry about this bomb being down here while you're probably flying around, making their life hard. Now the last item is a puppet. It doesn't go off until it comes in contact with the other player. You can still hear it in the background. So you could actually be full screen, send this out, push like this. He's still coming. Oh Lord, he's coming. Which makes her playstyle very interesting. She also has Air Force function, which is the Parasol stall, which can be cancelled into from other normals. So normal, Parasol stall. So, oops, I screwed it up. Boom, boom, hit. You do another move. So, jump see better here. Or, and now I'm on the coffin again. That's good. Good. I believe that's all her moves outside of her, obviously her IW, her Infinite Worth. So I will turn off guard. To note, this is not a grab. It just has a long range. So I can show by guard all, pull up, Infinite Worth. See, doesn't work. It is air unblockable, so you have to be careful. If you're fighting against her and you jump a lot, you can use it as an anti-air to do a lot of damage. And then her Infinite Worth. Cool, right? So I do think actually, let me make sure I'm not missing a move or two, because I feel like I missed one last time. Was it the coffin jump? I think it was the coffin jump. It might have been the coffin jump. Oh right, I forgot you could charge her force function. I knew I forgot something. Which allows her to do 2 items at the same time. And if you were paying attention, remember how it has a set order? It would always go poison, bomb, puppet. So, because this is poison, the next 2 items have to be bomb, puppet. And then the next 2 items, if you hold force function, have to be poison, bomb. And then from here, the next 2 items have to be puppet, poison. Which doesn't really have a cooldown on what you can put on the screen. So, like Faust, she could also just throw out a million items, make the opponent's life really hard. I mentioned the jump off the coffin, I'm pretty sure. While you're on the coffin, so you're on the coffin, you can hold up. You can hold up, forward, or up back. See? I believe that's everything. I don't want to do this again, but I do think Uzuki is a cool character in this version of the game. Well, I shouldn't say this version of the game. I should say in this game, she's really cool, unique. Doesn't have too many inconsistency issues. It feels right now, based off of the combo trials I did with her, she should have good damage, strong setup, and great spacing. I don't know how much HP she has, and because she doesn't have a reversal like Hyde, Linne, Kuon, she has to rely on using system mechanics like Veil Off. Let me record. She has to rely on system mechanics like Grid Thrust, once I record it correctly. Of course, they all cost meter, but it's the idea that you make sure that you constantly keep your opponent away from you, so you can do stuff like this, run away, put this out, put out Mist, and just make their life kind of hard to be around, right? And then you just set stuff up. So right now, I'm not sure, obviously, to say if she's going to be a good character or not, but she feels strong. Like, her kit feels complete. She feels like she'll be hard to block. Maybe the only downside is that she doesn't have a really fast button. She doesn't have a 5-frame button, but most characters who are good don't have a 5-frame button anyway, I feel like. And she doesn't need an invincible reversal because you have Chain Shift, you have Veil Off, you have Grid Thrust, and you also have Shield to push people out. But, you know, we'll see as time goes along how she'll grow in strength, how people will come to be and use her. Also, apologies if this feels really pushed together, but it's just like someone's like, hey, you should probably do this. And I was like, all right, cool. So enjoy Uzuki if this is past the 24th of July, and hopefully I'll also go over the changes a couple of characters got in this patch, because there were some battle adjustments as well. All right, everybody, thank you all for watching. I'll see y'all later. Take it easy. Peace. Goodbye.